The 1-2 punch of why relationships don't work out. So I will start off by saying that most relationships are really doomed before they start. And the reason why most relationships are doomed before they start is because one or the other party, and you know me being red-pilled, I'm going to say it's the female in most cases. One or more of the other party does not know how to be in a relationship, does not know how to foster love, does not know how to be a loving person, does not know how to treat the other person right. One or more, it could be both. It could be the man and the woman, right? Toxic people tend to gravitate towards each other in one way or another. Unless, of course, one person is gaslighting the other person, one person is pretending to be nice and kind while the other person, they're pretending to be nice and kind to fool the other person when in reality they're toxic, right? Which does happen. Because a lot of times in relationships, people try to put their best foot forward. People try to impress, and act all kind and, act however they think that person wants them to act. And then who they really are comes out later on down the road. That's a recipe for disaster. That's a big reason. That's kind of like a preface. But I will say this. There's two major reasons why relationships don't work out. From my experience, from my observation, that I believe to be the truth. Two major reasons. The first reason is this. The first reason is that we live in a sex culture. We live in a culture where everybody's hoes, right? Everybody's a hoe. Everybody's sleeping around. Everybody's a slut. And it's a culture. I want to emphasize that fact, that it's a culture. This is a culture. It's a sex culture that we live in. Porn culture, right? People put sex first. People, when they're young, they run around and they just fuck. They fuck everybody that's hot, right? So that's a major, major problem. Major problem. I can't really underestimate that. I can't overestimate that. People actually underestimate that. People underestimate the impact of that on relationships and society in general. It's huge. Why? Because if you go out and you sleep around, first of all, look, I say this a million times in my videos, in all my videos, there's dangers to premarital sex. There's dangers. STDs, unwanted kids, broken hearts, domestic violence, vitriol, gaslighting. Like, people commit suicide because of bad relationships. Like, it's fucking dangerous. I can't overstate that, enough. Like, people underestimate it. They think, kids are kids. Oh, they're just having sex, whatever. They're fine. Just be safe. Use a condom. Like, they act like it's all, because this is our culture. But here's the thing. If you're just out fucking for like 5 years of your life, like, that's going to take a toll on your character. That's going to take a toll on who you are as a person. And it's going to become part of your personality. So you're bringing that into your relationship. This is why a lot of guys just go MGTOW. Why a lot of red pill guys just give up and fucking walk away. Because we can't really win. Because when we try to date, all we have is these used goods hoes, right? Because when you have a culture that says, oh yeah, let's just go fuck, and then you find somebody later on down the road, you get used goods. That's what it is. Not only that, they're not, how do I put it? They're not looking for anything intrinsic, so they don't even know what they're looking for, right? And that's men and women. Like, guys don't know how to look for a quality girl. All they're looking for is a girl with big tits and nice ass, right? Girls don't know how to look for a quality guy. All they're looking for is a guy with a big dick, a hot guy who dresses great, right? That's it. And that's fun for a little while. But here's the problem. When you do that, you end up being toxic. Because you have to be toxic. Because it's a game. You're playing a game, right? And here's the other thing that most people don't take into account. Women don't really operate on the same level as men for the most part. Men are like, yeah, she's hot, let's fuck. Women need an emotional connection, even in hookups, a lot of the times. Not always. There's some women that are just real hoish, real loose, and they'll fuck on the drop of a hat. But a lot of times, guys, we have to have game. And what is game? Game is getting a woman to have an emotional connection with you. Game is getting a woman to like you on an emotional level. She could be attracted to you. And here's the thing that a lot of guys don't understand. You probably are more attractive than you realize. A lot of women probably think you're attractive. They just don't tell you, because first of all, it doesn't benefit them to tell you. It's better if they don't tell you for them, because if they told you, they would look thirsty. If they told you they were attracted to you, it would give away some power. They want you to think you're ugly. They want you to think you're less than nothing, because women are cruel like that. It's female nature. I don't want to get too into that, but there's a whole fucking layers and layers of bullshit behind why they do that. Anyway, let's just sum it up to say it benefits them to not let you know you're attractive. But you can kind of tell. There's certain cues that you can sort of pick up on, but they will never be overt about it. They will never just, oh, I'm really attracted to you. Like, never. There might be some subtle little cues. And unfortunately, for a lot of guys who aren't that attractive, women might feign, F-E-I-G-N, feign like they're attracted to you so that they can get attention from you, so they can get validation from you, which helps boost their self-esteem, which is a whole nother sub-level of bullshit that I don't want to go too deep into. It has to do with male orbiting, it has to do with simping, it has to do with validation and attention, and we need to end that. Guys need to end that. But so again, men have to figure out some game, right? And there has to be an emotional connection there. And a lot of times, this is the reason why women aren't able to pair bond. And now they're saying that even men, to some degree, aren't able to pair bond. You know, if they sleep around. I don't know about that, but I mean, maybe. But I think it's harder for women because women are more emotionally attached to sex, right? So again, it makes sense. It breaks down very, very congruently, right? If she's out sleeping with a bunch of guys and she has to make emotional connections with those guys, with a lot of those guys, before she jumps into bed with them, right? She's attracted physically, but she also needs to be attracted emotionally. And there's all kinds of like triggers and things you can do to work that out, and you can study game and learn how to like be more of a bad boy, learn how to like put yourself forward in a way where like you have abundance and value, and like you're in a kind of an alpha, like, and all these kind of things that these tricks that you learn to get her really into you, and they work, and you can get a girl sprung, you can get a girl chasing you. I have, it does work, and it helps. It can cancel out your unattractiveness. If you're not that attractive, it can cancel it out to a certain degree. But again, these type of women, when they have this mindset of I'm just hooking up, or I'm just having fun, or I'm just dating, and when people say they're dating, what do they really mean? Dating is just fucking. That's what dating is. When people say, "Oh, I'm dating," I'm just enjoying my life, I'm dating, it means you're fucking. That's what it means. If you're in a relationship, there's a difference between dating and being in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, okay, that's serious. You're not fucking anybody else. You're supposed to be, monogamous and faithful. And if you're in an open relationship, sorry, you're not in a relationship. Open relationships, that term is an oxymoron. There's no such thing as an open relationship, because a relationship is exclusive, period. A real relationship is exclusive. If you have an open relationship, you're just fucking, you're not really in a relationship. If you have an open relationship, you're just a confused person. You just want to have your cake and eat it too, and relationships don't work like that, because one of the major foundations of a relationship is faithfulness. If you're not faithful in your relationship, you don't have a relationship. That you might be with that person, but you're not really in a relationship with them. I don't know how else to put it, but that's just what it is. So anybody who says they're in an open relationship, that person is not in a relationship. That person's full of shit. That person just wants their cake and to eat it too. and that's not going to work out. And if it does work out, it's like, okay, congratulations, you're a piece of shit. Like, you not only do you disrespect your partner, you disrespect yourself, because you don't know what a real relationship is. Which leads me to the second point, the second major point, right, of why relationships don't work out, which is that people don't know how to be in a relationship. Okay, the first one is that by the time they're ready for a relationship, by the time they get into a relationship, they're already a hoe, they're already toxic, they already have personality and character defects from their years of hoeing. And I'm really kind of more talking about the girls more, because the guys, we don't have that abundance. We don't have those options. Only the top 10% of us are able to have regular sex and be hoes. So when women say, oh, guys are hoes too, no, we're not. No, we're not, dear. No, only the top 10% are hoes. Okay, only the top 5 and 10% of guys in the looks, money, status category are hoes. Because I'm not saying men can't be hoes. It's just we're not all hoes. Now, women, on the other hand, you know, I would say a large percentage are. I would say 80 to 85% probably are out there hoeing around. And by hoeing, I just mean being promiscuous, just having a bunch of sex, because it's easy. It's what they're all doing. It's a culture, like I said, right? So by the time they get into a relationship, it's damaged. But here's, like I said, the title of this video is the 1-2 punch. So that was the 1 punch, being a hoe, toxic, personality, character defects, can't pair bond. The 2 punch, which kills the whole thing, is not only were they hoes, but when they finally do get into a relationship, they don't know how to be in a relationship. And this can be guys and girls, that you don't know how to be in a relationship. You don't know how to love that other person. You don't know how to be faithful to that other person. You don't know how to foster love, build love. You don't know how to, love that person on an intrinsic level, in their soul and in their heart, not just for their money, not just for the good times you guys have, because there's going to be bad times. If you can't love that person through the bad times, you shouldn't be in that relationship. You don't love that person. You just love the lifestyle. And many, many women that I see really are just getting into relationships because of the lifestyle, because of what he offers her. And this is what a lot of them are looking for. They're really looking for this life. Everybody wants a good life, right? Everybody wants a great life, but you shouldn't look for somebody to give you a great life. That's not a relationship. That's almost like a genie in a bottle or something, right? What you should be looking for is you should be looking for love, right? As far as having a great life, yeah, work towards it, but that it doesn't mean like, oh, once I meet this person, I should be having a great life. You might not. Your life might not be great. That's the point of love, is that, hey, your life isn't going great, but you still love this person. That person's there for you through the hardships, through the thick and thins, even if life isn't great. And here's another thing. Like I said, lifestyle, a lot of times women will look for a guy to fulfill a lifestyle for them. If you're looking at a guy to fulfill a lifestyle for you, you're selfish, and you really don't love that person, and you shouldn't be in a relationship for that reason. Like and women do this so much. They look for a guy to fulfill a relationship, fulfill a lifestyle role for them. Like, well, he has this nice house, and he has this, and he has that, and he brings these aspects into my life. And it's easy to fall into that kind of thinking like that's okay, because we live in a world where you're encouraged to cut off losers, right? Quote unquote. Oh, don't hang around losers, or else you'll be a loser too, which is terrible advice, because it's like, well, that's not what a real friend is. A real friend isn't only around you because you're successful. Like, that's a horrible reason to be friends with somebody just because they're successful. That's very shallow. And I wouldn't want anybody to be around me because I was successful. I would want somebody to be with me despite my hardships, despite my negative drawbacks, right? Despite my hardships, despite all the shit that I'm going through. Maybe I am a loser outwardly, right? Maybe I don't have a lot of money. Maybe my life sucks. Maybe my lifestyle sucks. But if a person still sticks with you when you're in that scenario, that person is a real friend, and real friends are worth their weight in gold. that's something that's very rare in today's day and age. So actually a relationship should be like a real friendship. It should be like a great friendship, you know, but it's not because that person brings you a lifestyle. It's not because that person fulfills a lifestyle role for you. Like, well, I needed a baby daddy for my, you know, for my kid that I had with some other guy, and this guy fulfills that role. He's a good example of a guy, and so I, you know, incorporated him into my life, and he has a house, and he moved me in, all this kind of stuff, and it's all good. So he really, you know, completes me, quote unquote, in this way that my life is so much better. It's like, well, is that really a love, or is that just somebody who makes your life better? Is that somebody like, it's not that you shouldn't have somebody that makes your life better. Like, I wouldn't say that, but you know, like, would you really be with him if he didn't fulfill those roles? Would you be with him if he didn't have the house? Would you be with him if he wasn't surrogate daddy? You know, if he didn't, you know, want to raise your kid, like, you wouldn't be with him. Right? So it's like, that's not real love. It's like, that's just fulfilling a lifestyle. He's you know, filling in slots in your life that you're missing. And a lot of women are looking for that. That's really what they're looking for. They're looking for something that they're missing in their own life. And that's not the reason to get into a relationship. You have to sort of complete yourself. You have to sort of, you know, be happy in your own right. Like, yeah, I'm happy. I could be with somebody, or I could not be with somebody. Like, I'm cool, you know, like, I don't need you. I something my mom used to always say to me: I don't love you because I need you. I need you because I love you. That's pretty good. Like, it's not the best. Like, you don't want to need to love somebody in a way, but it's pretty good. It's not, you don't love somebody because you need them, right? And a lot of these women are out here like, I need a guy to help me raise my kid. I need a guy to help me financially. This is what I need. It's like, no, dude, that's not the reason to get into a relationship, right? So that's just on the surface. On the intrinsic level, people don't know how to be in relationships because they don't know how to treat anybody else. They're assholes. They haven't developed good character. They don't know how to be kind. They don't know how to be courteous. They don't know how to have grace when they're speaking with somebody, you know? And so much I see these relationships where the guys are just cucked, and you know, and the women are like, oh, he's so kind, and he says nice things to me, and like, but if you really like dig into the surface of the relationship, he's kind of like a servant in a way. Like, he washes the dishes, he does. It's not that he's just the servant, or he does all the house chores. It's like he's doing that because he wants to make her happy, but it's just like, well, you know, what if he didn't do that? What if he didn't do those things? Would you know, would you still love him? Or it's like, that's what you like about him. You like that he's subservient. You like that he's helpful in certain ways, but it's like, that's just like, you got a manservant. Anyway. People don't know how to treat each other. They don't know how to love each other. They're selfish, right? And so if the man is self-sacrificing, right? And I hear this too a lot in these traditional kind of circles where like, oh, the man is supposed to be so self-sacrificing, and he's supposed to give up everything for the family, and like, I don't know how that sounds to me. That doesn't really sit well with me. Like, I don't really want to be self-sacrificing. Like, what is that? Like, so I'm supposed to be a martyr? I'm supposed to like take it all on the chin while they, like, it almost sounds like he's a bitch. You know, that's what it kind of sounds like. Like, it kind of sounds like he's the bitch of the relationship. Like, you know, oh, I make all the money, and I make sure that everybody's fed, and I house everybody, but I also got to make sure my wife is happy, and I got to make, you know, buy her flowers, do all this. Like, what does she do for you? I mean, maybe they appreciate you, I suppose. Maybe they honor you, quote unquote, right? But again, what if you didn't do those things? What if you didn't do all that? Would they still love you? Would they still want? So it's like, what are our roles? Men are like relegated to this kind of service position, like where we're serving the family, and it's just like, I don't know what it just doesn't sit well with me. Like, it's like, how about we just all appreciate each other? How about we all just be normal? You know what I mean? How about we just be regular? How about we just love each other? How about we just treat each other kind? How about we just love and support each other? I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be the servicer. I don't want to be like the self-sacrificing guy. And it's like, you want to know why I don't want to be that? Because I feel like I'd be used. I feel like I'm being used in that scenario. Like, yeah, I'm the father. I'm the leader. I make all the money, and you're using me. You're just using me for the lifestyle. Well, what if I didn't make all the money? Would you still love me? Would you still want to be with me? You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, man, these roles, and that's another thing. Not only do we not know how to treat each other right, we fall into these roles. Like, who can be happy when they're relegated to a role? Like, oh, that's my thing in life, is I have a role. My role is I'm the father. My role is I'm the mother. My role is I got to do these dishes. My role is like I make all the money. Like, no wonder people would get divorced. I don't want to be a fucking role. I'm a person. I'm a human being. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a role. I'm not like, this is my post, and I'm serving in this way. And like, I don't want to look at a relationship like that. Like, that just takes all the joy out of it. It takes all the love out of it. Like, oh, I have this role. I still love you, but this is my role. And I'm like, women think like that. They really do. Like, they think in terms of roles, and it's like they like that. Like, I feel like a robot. Like, I feel like, I got this duty, and my duty is to provide for my family. And if I don't do that, then I'm a loser, and I shouldn't even have a family. It's like, what the fuck is that? Like, don't you love me either way? What if I don't fulfill my role? What if I don't wash the dishes? What if I don't say nice things to you? Are you still gonna love me? Like, no? Okay, well then we shouldn't have a relationship, because you don't really love me for who I am. You love me for my role. I respect you for your role. Like, I don't care if you respect me or not. I want you to love me. I don't want you to respect me. You know what I mean? And it's just, this is what I see. This is what I see. And it's like, no wonder divorce is at 50+%. Because eventually people just feel like, yeah, oh, I'm so respected, but there's not love. There's nothing on the inside. There's no intrinsic, you know? Anyway. All right, so I think I'm going to end it there. Appreciate you guys listening. It's been Jay Lee with Northwest Podcast. Peace.